There's a podcast that you will want to add to your playlist. Warriors for Christ. That's the number 4. Warriors for Christ is a Christian podcast providing biblical teaching without the doctrines of man. In other words, they like to let the Bible explain itself. The format includes non-denominational readings and teachings from the Bible. They also have interviews and whatever the Lord puts on their hearts to present. Life in this world can be very stressful and filled with anxieties. Warriors for Christ will give you the biblical information you need to help deal with all life has to bring. Warriors for Christ confronts many false doctrines which are pervasive in this age and what some call the church in a box. And they also offer a full gospel ministry. Find Warriors for Christ on Podomatic, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Player FM, Stitcher, Deezer, Amazon Podcast, and Spotify. Warriors for Christ. Share the podcast on all of your social media so your friends can listen too. Warriors for Christ. That's the number 4. Add it to your playlist right now.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. It's a new week, and we've got a new war. Here we just got out of a 20-year war in Afghanistan that we lost thanks to Joe Biden. The war was won. Joe Biden has done something no other president has done, that is lose a war that was won in Afghanistan, gave the rebuilt country to the Taliban, and here we are just a few weeks later, and he's starting another war in Ukraine with Russia. And the media, they're just they're salivating at the ratings. So
This is good for them. They love it.
Media love wars.
They've been really struggling with topics. You know, they're clinging on to COVID because they got nothing else to talk about, and they've actually resorted to Biden bashing because they have nothing left. Mm-hmm. So now this gives them something totally new and exciting to talk about, to get people all in a flap about and upset about.
Yeah, and so
for years to come, by the way.
So Biden's sending 50,000 troops. They say not to Ukraine, just nearby. Well, if it's not for Ukraine and Russia, what are they going for? And 50,000. That's very aggressive.
That's a lot.
It is wintertime here in Florida, where we're in the subtropics. We have the best weather in America. In Florida, it was 48 degrees when I woke up this morning. You know how cold it is in Europe right now, over there, in Russia, in Ukraine, and it's a major troop movement, and it's even more major by the fact that it's 50,000. And they say, well, they're not going to Ukraine. Well, that's a lie, because we've already sent tons and tons of weaponry of different types to Ukraine. There's going to be sending a whole bunch more, and other countries are sending weaponry too. This isn't like the American Revolution when the French gave, the Continental Army aid. They gave them ships and like flintlocks. Everyone knows how to use a flintlock. And, we had sailors that could sail ships. This is very high-tech stuff. When they give them military equipment, they just don't dump it off at the airport and come pick it up. We have U.S. service personnel, military personnel, that have to show them how to use this equipment and maybe even operate it. On top of that, they're Ukrainian. So their primary language, their first language is Ukrainian. Some of them may speak English, but it's at best their second language. All the equipment is computerized now, and it's all in English, and it's very high tech. So they got another war going. I mean, that's just it. And, it's amazing. Biden has restarted really two wars, right? We lost Afghanistan because of Biden, so he started up a new war with Ukraine, but he's also rekindled the Cold War, which was won by President Reagan and Bush 41. And now he's bringing back the Cold War with Russia. And we have the news on, and the news are just very excited about this.
Yeah, they all are. They have something to talk about now, and other than COVID. And Biden loves it because it gets the focus off him and his failures. And, I think he feels that this will make him look strong because the American people don't like him, and they see him very weak.
Yeah.
And, a lot of presidents like the way they look during these kinds of situations, and this could keep him busy and the news busy for years to come now. So they'll leave him alone about the crime, the inflation, the supply chain, and all this stuff. Now you're going to see over the next few weeks and months and years, all the questions will be geared about this instead of, he's giving them something, as Bonnie Raitt said, give them something to talk about.
Yeah.
Other than COVID or what
his failures.
what a crappy job he's doing.
And at the same time, he gets to pay back money to these political donors and all the military
there's
equipment.
Always a monetary gain involved in these situations.
And I got to tell you, I am 100% against this war. This war that is about to begin there's no purpose to it. It's none of our business. Who cares, honestly, who cares if Putin takes back
How long has he
Ukraine?
Been talking about this? When did they leave Russia? How
when the Soviet Union collapsed, Ukraine.
Does this go back decades?
Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union,
right?
Like Russia was part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, the USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Right. One
of the republics was the Ukraine,
right?
So that collapsed in 91. So that I don't know how long. Ukraine's not important. I don't know exactly when they say, okay, we're independent, we have a government, but I know this: it doesn't matter if he takes back Ukraine. So what? We have no business. Right after we've gotten out of a 20-year war, we have no business getting involved in another conflict. It's certainly not one where we haven't been attacked or threatened ourselves.
I don't understand how they can justify leaving Afghanistan to the Taliban, and saying that's not our problem. But then they get involved in this.
And it'll be the same troops.
It doesn't make sense.
The same troops he brought back from Afghanistan will be going here. And here we have the United States is being invaded from our southern border, right, through Mexico into the United States. He's doing nothing about that. God forbid he sends the military down there to protect. He's protecting – think about this. He's protecting the sovereignty of the Ukrainian border, but he won't protect the sovereignty of the U.S. border. Yep. And he tells us that it's an act of war that Russia has these incursions across the border into Ukraine. Why is it not an act of war when Mexico has incursions with migrants from all over Latin America into our country? And these invaders from our southern border bring with them a lot of things, right? Sex trafficking, child trafficking, human smuggling,
drugs.
If you go to
crime,
other
crimes, drugs,
all kinds of things, disease, plague, right? If you go to here in Florida on our turnpike, if you go to one of the rest stops on the turnpike, they have signs in all the restrooms in English and in Spanish that if you were being held against your will and you're a victim of human trafficking, call this number or do something, just cry out for help or something. That's what's coming from the southern border. Not a lot of good things are coming from the southern border. Why is that not something to be concerned about? But we're supposed to be concerned about Ukraine. And I'm here to tell you, I'll say it time and time again, you show 99% of Americans, including the Vice President of the United States, an unlabeled map and say, show me Ukraine, 99% of Americans wouldn't be able to do it. And we're supposed to be worried about that? There's no way that I'm going to support, after what happened in the Iraq War, any other wars, any other military conflicts, unless we've been directly attacked, and then we really got to seriously think about it. We had 20 years of war in Afghanistan and Iraq. Can anyone in this listening audience tell me what we won, what we got out of it? What was there was just a terrorist attack last week in Texas by an Al Qaeda. So what? I know they want to call it everything else, but what it is, what was gained other than a lot of people like Dick Cheney and all of his friends getting rich? What was gained out of the war on terror? Absolutely nothing.
No.
After
nothing.
20 years.
No.
And our cable news channels, all of them, right? No matter which one, they're filled with tunnel to tower commercials, which Kathy and I give to every month.
I mean, it's really pretty sick when they run those
and the wounded warriors
while they're talking about the war in between commercials.
Okay, now
war.
Okay, now this is what I want to know, and I'm going to start looking out for this in broadcasting. Okay, if, for example, like if there's a plane crash you don't run commercials for airlines.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not kidding. You don't. You pull
it's a bad taste.
So on Fox News and all of the other cable news, have they stopped running commercials for Tunnel to Towers and Wounded Warriors?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, how can you have an all-day push for war and then go to a Wounded Warrior commercial?
I don't know. Maybe that helps Wounded Warrior get donations. Possible. We've donated to them. It's a great organization. Well, maybe that helps their donations if they do that.
If you are watching your own news, right? Like if you're on Fox News, right? Fox News is really pushing hard for this. If you're watching your own cable news outlet that you're on the air with and you're doing your big push for the war, getting all excited, getting ready to get embedded with the troops and everything, they're all excited. And you go to commercial break and it's a Wounded Warrior. You got a guy who at 21 years old lost his limbs and he's melted and he's living with his parents for the rest of his life or the rest of their life. And then you come back from break and you're doing this push for war again. I think that's pretty sick.
It is.
It's pretty disgusting. It's in very bad taste. Yeah. And I'm sorry. And what we're going to start seeing now, it's already starting, are all the retired military people on as pundits, right? The retired lieutenant colonels and the retired admirals and all this stuff. There's no disclosure made with these people. These retired military people that you see on television, they're always pushing us into war. Most of them work for military contractors, companies that benefit from war, and they're on television promoting, really doing PR work, using their military career as credibility to do PR work for a company that they work for, and they really should be required to make full disclosures. That's why you see retired generals, admirals, lieutenant colonels, but you don't see retired sergeants or corporals or privates, because those guys, they don't want to hear from, because they're not on the, they don't have a PR job from some arms manufacturer that's sending tanks or computer equipment off to the Ukraine. It's let me tell you, we're in a bad state right here because Biden is so checked out.
We're going to be in a bad state for at least the next 3 years.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe things will get better in November, maybe, or January when we turn the House and Senate. But most of those guys are just as bad. I mean, you really can't depend on them. I mean, once we get things started, it's a lot easier to get started than to get out of those things. You know what I mean? Once you're in and committed, that's it. I mean, look at Afghanistan. We were there a long, long time, and but this has been going on since World War II. Americans have felt the need to get involved in all these global conflicts, Vietnam, North Korea, all these things in the name of communism and, in the name of stopping communism. You had a caller today talk about that he didn't want a repeat of what happened in the 50s and the 60s. Well, what happened exactly? I don't know. There was a lot of talk, a lot of fear going around, but not much else. And it was all in the name of stopping something that could happen. Yeah. Stopping something that might occur. Well, to me, that's not worth, risking American lives and young men getting maimed and killed and destroyed for the rest or disabled because something could happen. I think it's better to sit back and help them a little bit if we can, whatever they need. I don't mind helping them, but I'm not comfortable getting involved that we end up fighting Russia. That's my concern here. That ends up being us against Russia.
All of our MAGA brothers and sisters out there. See, this is something you got to be careful about, okay? As conservatives, we support the military. And because of that, what happens a lot of times is when this is without question a wag the dog moment here with Biden and Ukraine.
Yes, so.
But when there's military action imminent, a lot of conservatives, because of their love and support of the military, immediately support military action, which I don't think the military personnel really support because I don't think they really want to go over there. Okay? I mean, I don't think they want to go over there.
They just got home.
Yeah, exactly. This 20-year war that we have been in, it used to be, in Vietnam, right? In Vietnam, they had tours of duty, which I believe were 13 months. And after that, you could not be sent back. Now, guys did multiple tours, and they would volunteer for these things. In the Second World War, you were in there for the duration,
right.
But the war didn't go on for 20 years, right? It went on too long, but it didn't go on for 20 years. There was an end in sight. But even in some situations, there were ways to get rotated, like bomber pilots and stuff. They 25 missions, they get rotated out and things like this. We had a 20-year war. Means that our military, while is pretty worn down, they all did multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Some of them had been to Iraq and Afghanistan both multiple times, and to send them off to something else that has nothing to – and I'll tell you, I've been talking about this for years on this program. I believe the whole Cold War was a lie. The whole Cold War was a wag the dog. Russia was never a threat to the United States. We worked together and defeated the Nazis in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about this. Immediately at the end of the Second World War, all of a sudden Russia was our enemy.
Yeah.
Right? And
the politicians always like to have an enemy.
Yeah.
They can use it to their advantage. It can be a distraction. It can be a way to make a lot of money. It can be a way to manipulate the media. I mean, it's a useful thing when you have a common enemy, and that's what I said. America is so divided right now that maybe some politicians feel that something like this people can unite with and agree on and be like, oh yeah, Russia's bad and this and that. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think people have other concerns. And I think the politicians are so out of touch with the American people more than ever. You have people that can't afford groceries, they can't afford gas. There's other issues with mandates and other things. And I think the American people have been so stretched thin on all these other issues.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think most people just don't give a damn about this, and they don't need to care about it because they got so many problems at home. And I think this attempt to distract everything is not going to work because I don't think anybody's going to care about what's happening over there. You know what I mean? They got too many other problems to worry about.
Now, I was just reading this morning, there's another lawsuit against Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow. And why? Because he supports Trump. He's vocal about it. He's got his frank speech going. Remember, he just hired Emerald Robinson. Last week we were talking about this. And they're trying to silence Mike Lindell. Remember a couple weeks ago, his bank canceling him that he does so much of his charitable work with, including frank speech. I mean, they're doing everything they can to stop Mike Lindell. And Mike Lindell was asked in an interview, what can people do to help you? And he said, go to mypillow.com and buy something. Buy these great products there because every penny I make, I'm putting into all of my efforts. And when you use our promo code at checkout, Kane, Kane, not only are you supporting Mike Lindell, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, and all of his efforts, you're also supporting this program, and that helps us a lot too. And I just want to tell you, whatever special you see at mypillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. There's just a couple that I want to tell you about now, and here we are in some pretty cold times. There's nothing better to wake up under than the 100% Giza cotton MyPillow Dream Sheets that are flannel. Oh my goodness.
No, that's true.
Kathy and I, we have both the regular MyPillow 100% Giza cotton Dream Sheets and the flannel 100% cotton Dream Sheets. They're both spectacular. They're both perfect. They're both wonderful. But this morning, it was actually 46 degrees.
It was cold
when I woke up, and waking up with those 100% Giza cotton Dream Sheets, I didn't realize how cold it was until I got out of bed.
That's
mean,
the only problem is you just don't want to get. It was 42 when I got up.
Oh my goodness, 42!
Colder.
It got colder.
It got colder.
That's Florida temperatures.
7 this morning, and that is extremely cold. Now up north, I know it's really cold. I don't think I could handle it up there, but it's definitely nice because the sheets really are very cozy.
Yes,
and you don't get hot. I've noticed you don't get hot. You just really
just perfect.
Stay right, and it's just a nice, cozy, comfortable feeling. But
absolutely,
I get overheated easily, and I was worried about that with the flannel sheets, but I don't get hot at all. And I've even used them when it wasn't super cold, and I was always comfortable.
Yeah, and with the MyPillow,
it doesn't trap your body heat. You know what I mean? But it still keeps you comfortable.
Now, when you go to mypillow.com, the 100% Giza cotton Dream Sheets, when you use our promo code at checkout, Kane, Kane, Buy one set, get a second set free. And, you can mix and match that. You can get one set regular, one set flannel, and they come in many different colors if you want. You can mix it up any way you want, or you can get, both flannel or both regular. It's up to you.
For the kids, a guest room.
And the sheets come in every size mattress there is. Now, listen, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of it no matter what it says with our promo code at checkout, KANE, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Etsy shoppers, are you looking for an interesting Etsy shop? Then you need to check out Tapestry Love Gifts on Etsy.com. Tapestry Love Gifts on Etsy provides 100% handmade tapestry that's the highest quality on the market. Each item is woven to perfection to provide 100% satisfaction at affordable prices. And every tapestry is made especially for you. Tapestry Love Gifts on Etsy create tapestries in all sorts of themes: landscapes, animals, positivity and energy, anime, and many, many more. Go right now to Tapestry Love Gifts on Etsy.com. View the inventory. You will be impressed. Tapestry Love Gifts on Etsy.com. From certified hypnotherapist, graduate of HMI, America's first nationally accredited college of hypnotherapy, and author Oshra Chernowskina, comes the book Success Through Subconscious Mastery, available on Amazon. A life well lived is one that embraces change and aspires to reach new heights. Change means growth, and growth happens when we recognize the time is right and we put forth the effort. In Success Through Subconscious Mastery, the author provides a roadmap for using the power of hypnotherapy as the foundation for achieving your goals and reaching your dreams. In this must-read book, you will find inspiration, motivation, tips and techniques to help you on your journey, reality checks, stories that will resonate with you, examples of people who have transformed their lives for the better, and so much more. You will be equipped with strategies and techniques to discover how to intentionally guide your inner mind toward your deepest desires with a greater sense of conviction than ever before. Most importantly, you'll come to recognize the unlimited power you have within you to create your own exceptional future. It's time to step into who you truly are meant to be. So order your copy of Success Through Subconscious Mastery from author Oshra Chernowskina on Amazon. Let's face it, things are a lot easier in the kitchen and around the house with the right gadgets. HouseWidgets.com offers everything you need to make your home life easy, modern, and stress-free. Whether you need items to cook with, stay warm, keeping your home clean, or organized, they have it all and more. From self-adhesive spice racks to electric wine openers, the selection at HouseWidgets.com is incredible. The prices are amazing. You will find every modern gadget you need for your home at HouseWidgets.com. They also carry the latest electronics for everyone in your family. From Bluetooth wireless headphones to coffee cup warmers, you will find the items you love at HouseWidgets.com. Start shopping right now. It's time to budget like a boss. 2022 is going to be a good year, and that begins with a budget. Getting yourself on the right financial track is all about keeping track of your money. And there's an online Excel digital product that can help track spending and expenses, analyze and assess your real financial position, define your savings dreams, and your investment goals. Make a plan to lead yourself and your family to financial freedom. Key features of the dashboard include instant download, so you can start right now. It's quick and easy. Manage your finances and don't waste your precious personal time. Effective shouldn't equal hard. This is a digital budget program you can use every day in Excel. Budget like a boss. You can download it right now at payhip.com/B/E X. That's payhip.com/B/E X.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. The Supreme Court is going to issue a ruling on affirmative action with Harvard. Harvard has been accused of having an affirmative action scheme that discriminates against Asian American students or Asian students in general. in favor of African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm Native American. I was born in Rhode Island. Kathy's Native American. She was born in Florida. We're in America. We are natives of America. So I consider they don't mean, but we're not considered Native American by these standards. But here, here's the thing about this, okay, with affirmative action, right? Affirmative action is supposed to right the wrongs of the past, and places that have discriminated against minorities. Affirmative action requires a quota system. Even though they say it's not quotas, but requires a quota system to allow minorities in. There is no place in this country that is more liberal than our universities, right?
That's for sure.
So since they're liberal, why do these universities need to have affirmative action? Since it's liberal, shouldn't it just automatically be perfect?
Very true.
So far as a racial makeup, why do all these liberal universities
you could say
need
the
laws
same
for this?
for Hollywood.
Exactly. I don't understand why these
Very liberal
liberal utopias of America's universities need rules, regulations, laws, and Supreme Court rulings to make sure that they don't discriminate, because being liberal, it should just naturally be a place with zero discrimination.
Well, and it's interesting because this is a lawsuit being brought up by Asian Americans or Asians, which they keep telling you there's so much Asian crime, hate crime. Because
in New York, absolutely.
There was this happened a few years ago where Harvard felt they had too many Asians as students.
Too many Asians. Can you imagine?
First of all, they shouldn't even ask your race on a college application. It should be your social security number, and that's it.
How many Asians?
Maybe male, female, but that's it. I mean, no, your race, your ethnicity should not even matter.
Yeah.
But it's a political tool, and they ask your race on everything. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, or your ethnicity, I should say. But so they stopped allowing as many Asians in and started allowing in for affirmative action other minority groups. So it is the Asian groups that are bringing this on, correct? Because they feel that they are being discriminated against. I personally feel now all schools have a ethnic quota. When I was at FSU, and I've said this before, I knew a couple guys that played football for FAMU, and they were white. FAMU is a black school for not like 95% African American. And they had a quota. In fact, I had a friend who got a scholarship there, and he said his grades were not that good, but he got a full scholarship because they had a white quota.
Wow.
And they had to have a certain number of white people. So I was like, wow, I never even heard of that before. I'd heard of the opposite. So all universities have these racial quotas, ethnic quotas, which I think is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, it'll be interesting to see because we do have a predominantly conservative court. I would love to see them make the ruling that basing any admission on ethnicity is against the law and discriminatory. I don't think your ethnicity should factor at all into your job or getting into college or anything for that matter. I can understand if it's a medical thing because there are certain ethnicities that have different medical concerns than others. That's true. But academically, there's no issue there. I mean, you if you're intelligent, you're intelligent. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. I mean, even Joy Reid got into Harvard, and she's a total idiot.
That's for sure. I don't know how she got in. No. I like to see her SAT scores.
God.
The
vile woman.
There was a time like 50 years ago when these things were needed, but we've moved to the point where things like affirmative action have become discrimination because we are beyond such things now.
But people still feel that way. I was watching. There was somebody posted in a Facebook group this story locally how the Florida government is giving millions of dollars to Hispanic-owned businesses for something, or this one group in Florida is doing it. And a lot of people left comments, well, why does it have to go to Hispanics only, and blah, blah, blah. And you would not believe the number of comments. White people have had it good enough. White people just walk into a bank and get whatever they want. White people this,
really?
White people that. Oh.
Wait, can we?
Dozens of
so if
comments
that's interesting.
on this one thread.
So if I go to the bank and just ask for money, they're going to give it to me?
Exactly. That's what but people
wow.
in some minority
I never
groups
knew that.
Really feel that way. They really feel that we can get into
Why
any
are we doing this show then? Why don't we just go to banks all day
exactly.
and ask?
We can get into any college we want. We can get a loan we want. That is so not true. That is so not true. I couldn't get into any college I wanted. That's for sure. But a lot of people really feel that way. We've had it good enough, long enough, and it's their time to get all the special benefits.
That's called discrimination.
When it's reversed, it's okay. Apparently,
that's called racial discrimination.
That's right.
Now, there's a trial coming up that I'm very excited about with Sarah Palin. Now, Sarah Palin has a defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, which we're going to talk about in a minute because this is a great lawsuit that Sarah Palin has brought against the New York Times. But it's being delayed because she has COVID. And let me tell you, okay, I was watching I'd forgotten about her defamation lawsuit. I didn't know what the state of it was until this. And the reason it's in the news is because the media are very excited that Sarah Palin has COVID because she's not vaccinated. Right. I think she has said she's not vaccinated. Now, let me tell you something, okay? I know 4 people that have died in the past few months from COVID. And I've known people that have had COVID. I've not had it, luckily. Either has Kathy. But I don't wish COVID on anyone, okay? I don't wish COVID on anyone, whoever they are, whether, and it's so, the liberals, right? Because they don't like Sarah Palin because she ran for vice president 14 years ago. They hate her.
They can't get over it.
They can't. 14 years ago, she ran for vice president. That's how 2008, right? It's 22 now. They still hate her for it, so they celebrate that she has COVID. Yeah. I mean, what a bunch of sick.
What did they say
people
about her exactly?
Oh well, this is awesome. Okay, this is awesome. Let me read this story.
I'm curious.
Former Alaskan Governor Sarah Palin's lawsuit against the New York Times is heading to trial. The lawsuit centers around a New York Times op-ed that falsely implicated Sarah Palin's Political Action Committee for political incitement in the shooting of Gabby Giffords. Remember this, the Congresswoman Gabby Giffords? And
that's going way back.
Yeah. Well, it's taken a while. In June 2017, the same day that a liberal, by the way, it was a Democrat, a liberal who shot Steve Scalise during. You don't hear about that too much.
No.
We got to point it. And not only was he a liberal, he was a Bernie Sanders supporter, shot Steve Scalise. During a congressional baseball practice, the New York Times ran an op-ed headlined, America's Lethal Politics. This piece falsely claimed that Sarah Palin's Political Action Committee had shared a map with 20 Democratic lawmakers, including Gabby Giffords, in stylized crosshairs prior to her shooting and claimed
I remember
that the link to political incitement was clear. Sarah Palin says the former editorial page editor defamed her by publishing this claim. The trial is going to be in federal court, and it goes on and on. Okay, and it wasn't just the New York Times. In fact, the day of the Gabby Giffords shooting, I remember watching on television. What happened was Sarah Palin, her Political Action Committee, was doing a lot of what Trump's doing, right? They were primarying out and trying to out some Republicans they didn't like, and also trying to get some Democrats defeated. And they had certain races they were focused on. And her Political Action Committee had a list of congressional seats that they were targeting, okay, to beat in the election. And one of those was Gabby Giffords. They wanted Gabby Giffords out. And because they used targeting, they took that to mean that they were inciting violence that led to the shooting of Gabby Giffords, and that's where this came from.
Probably not the smartest campaign.
It's not the same kind of thing,
But still, it's probably not the smartest.
Everybody's always targeting stuff.
I know, but I don't think I'd put anybody in crosshairs. I don't think that's I'm not saying she incited anything.
She didn't put Gabby Giffords in crosshairs. She said that they were targeting certain people in certain districts.
Okay, but did they actually put a picture of somebody in crosshairs?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But even if they did, it's not the same thing.
No, but it's just not the smartest
people.
Move. Well,
so this case with Sarah. Well, you guys can let us know in the comments what you think. This case with Sarah Palin. I hope she wins it because you got the Sandman case, you got this case, we got the Rittenhouse who's going to be coming out. this corporate liberal media just go around defaming people,
that's for sure.
slandering people.
Well,
and doing it without any repercussions.
Right. And to me,
it's gotta stop.
It matters if they actually did use photographs of people with crosshairs. That would matter to me. Because then you could, I'm not saying that was their intention, but you could make that case.
No, you can't make that case.
I wonder what Kyle Rittenhouse is doing. Has he decided to go out? I haven't heard anything about him going after
hopefully he continues to lie
defamation.
low. So hopefully he continues to lie low.
I guess he's talking to lawyers, I would assume.
Yeah.
He needs to get Nick Salmon's lawyers
now,
because they did right by him.
The media are so excited to go to war. There's all kinds of deals and stories out there that are not being discussed. Last night, Mark Levin had Peter Schweitzer on his show on Fox News. Peter Schweitzer is the author of Clinton Cash. He has a new book coming out. And,
this looks good.
And Peter Schweitzer says that the Biden family, which is Biden, he has his family do all the collections for it, that the Biden family received $31 million from Chinese intelligence people.
And I'm sure they've spent it all.
Yeah, well, that's why he's president now. He pissed away all the money, and they need more money. He's got a big family, and they live high on the hog, and
You'd be surprised. You can go through $30 million, especially if you have a lot of people with their hands in the cookie jar, and especially if you have somebody blown it on high-priced hookers and crack.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be surprised how fast you can burn through that money.
Is there such thing as high-priced crack? I don't know.
No, high-priced hookers.
Oh, okay.
I meant and crack. I guess I misspoke.
I thought crack was crack.
No, crack is whack, according to what
Whitney Houston.
No, high-priced hookers. I meant, and apparently they're like $8,000 for 10 minutes, and which is pretty expensive.
Yeah,
and crack is supposedly cheap, but it can depend. He might make up for it in quantity. If you use a lot, it could probably get expensive. If it's recreational, maybe not so much. Yeah. But I don't know how much he was consuming. I'm assuming quite a bit. But he has a very hedonistic lifestyle, and Hunter Biden, and I would imagine Joe Biden might as well, that we don't really know about. But these people burn through money like, they spend it like there's no tomorrow because as long as they're in politics, the money keeps coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but there's Peter, I mean, think about this. You've got this corrupt attorney general in New York investigating real estate deals with the Trumps, which are perfectly fine.
I know it's ridiculous.
And here you have Biden, who took $31 million in bribe money from the Chinese intelligence.
I know they're going after Trump,
and it's not even in the news
for over evaluating an apartment for his daughter. But this stuff, which is actual corruption, where money exchanged hands between countries, for favors.
Yeah,
I mean that's like incredible to me.
Yeah,
and they just nothing to see here.
Yeah, and that story should have been the lead all over the news today. Mark Levin, think about this. Mark Levin did that story last night on Fox News.
Oh, yeah.
And even Fox News isn't running with this story.
And everybody watches him. But what they say is going to happen if we win the House and the Senate, because this is what politicians do, that they're going to go after Joe Biden for all of this. They're going to turn the tables because now having these investigations is the thing to do. And they like to be on TV. But they're going to now, Jim Jordan and these guys, which I don't mind, they're going to go after Biden and Hunter, and they're going to start investigating them. So
that's right.
That'll be fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
That's the way it goes.
I can't wait. There's one court case coming up. There's another court case too, other than the Sarah Palin case. That is. Do
you know what she's suing them for? How much or no?
I don't know how much, but
I'm sure it's a lot.
Yeah, but I hope it's a lot, and I hope Sarah Palin doesn't settle out of court. I would like a very public exposure of these media slanders. But there's another court case that's going to get very exciting. Stormy Daniels is suing Michael Avenatti.
Oh yeah, that started today.
Yeah, and
$300,000 they say he took from her.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Kathy's been predicting for years that eventually Stormy Daniels is going to come out and say that Avenatti got her to make everything up about Trump.
I think she's going to have her come to Jesus moment. But then the liberals will say she's lying, that you can't. She initially said nothing happened. She did say that at some point that nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, I think Michael Avenatti got his claws into her and they came up with this scheme and he took all her money. And I think she's waiting for this to be over. And when it's over, I think she's going to tell you the truth of what really went down, that it was a grift. and another CNN contributor.
Well, it could happen with this lawsuit because I'm pretty sure Stormy Daniels, whatever little bit of money she made, she's burned through. She didn't make a lot of money, and she burned through it.
Especially from her traveling striptease show.
Exactly. So she wants this $300,000 pretty bad, and Michael Avenatti, he ain't going to give up that easily. And when it gets nasty, she could very well say, I made everything up.
Yeah, it was a grift.
President Trump never had anything to do with Stormy Daniels. He took a picture with her.
They take pictures with everybody when you're a politician, especially when you're as famous as he is. You know how many people he's taken pictures with across his entire career? Thousands of people.
Exactly.
He doesn't check them out and have them go through some kind of
But they have this standard now
process before they take a picture.
They have this standard, right? Anyone that Donald Trump takes a picture with, he's had sex with them.
Yeah, he has an intimate relationship. Exactly. Even if it's a guy or a girl.
Yeah, exactly. But
my goodness.
Yeah, that story's so ridiculous. Nothing ever happened between Stormy Daniels and President Trump.
She and Michael Avenatti, let me tell you, I believe they made up this entire thing like it was a con. And they rode that wave. They were on
right to prison for him.
Well, yeah, they were on The View. They were on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
They were traveling around. She was doing her traveling striptease show, making tons of money, being on talk shows. And boy, they really got a lot out of that. But the truth always comes out. And I think Trump really handled that whole situation well because he just didn't really talk about it. And I think he did that out of respect for his wife.
It was smart.
And they really didn't address it. And that's really how you have to handle those kinds of things. You don't want to debase yourself because when you even discuss something like that, you give it some kind of validation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's best when you have scummy people. And these are people that to me are just the bottom of the barrel, when they sit there and go on TV and they just spew lies about somebody just to get money and to but like you said, everything comes to light and eventually and I really think that when this is all over, she will come out and say that we made it all up.
Well, it could very well happen.
A money grab.
It could very well happen in this trial.
Might.
Because this is going to get nasty between the two of them. It's going to get very nasty.
Oh, yeah, she'll throw him under the bus.
Oh, yeah, and she's got nothing to lose.
No, absolutely not.
In fact, if she came out and said she made it all up, she only has things to gain about that because then she could do more television interviews about that whole process.
They would not you think they'd bring her back on The View if she came out
not on The View.
And said that I lied and Trump and I never had sex?
No.
They wouldn't. Are you kidding me? That would be on the very last page of the New York Times. They would bury that story fast.
They could have her on Greg Kelly on Newsmax or Eric Bolling.
That would be good.
On Newsmax. That'd be good. Yeah. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Back right after this.
There's a new children's book that's climbing the charts, Learning the Waves by Riley and Ricky, from author Sherry Young. Illustrations by Natasha Rimez, available on Amazon. Riley and Ricky have become the best of friends. Riley's a dolphin who knows the ocean well. Riley lights up in color to let Ricky know she could be in danger, and it helps Ricky learn how to be safe in the waves. Come along with Riley and Ricky in Book 1 and see how you can also stay safe in the waves. This is a must-have when you're heading to the beach. Learning the Waves by Riley and Ricky is a colorful picture book that's a great way to communicate about beach trips with your child. Children will learn about safety flags on the beach and what each one means. It teaches basic do's and don'ts about safety in the ocean and much, much more. Children should never go in the water without an adult, and watch how Riley helps Ricky understand that. Learning the Waves by Riley and Ricky is available on Amazon. If you have a beach rental property, this would be a great read for your renters. Go to Amazon and order your copy right now. This is a must-have for all beach trips. Your children will love getting to know the cute and adorable characters Riley and Ricky. Learning the Waves by Riley and Ricky, from author Sherry Young. Order your copy on Amazon. Your big day is about to happen. A wedding. It's special and it's the biggest event of your life. You want to capture that special day perfectly, and the right videographer can make all the difference. This is where Megapulse Media comes in. Megapulse Media is a professional wedding videography company located in Greenville, South Carolina. Owner Matt Jordan is a local who was born and raised in Greenville. He has years of professional experience working with weddings and events. He covers Greenville, South Carolina and the surrounding areas. When you visit Megapulse megapulsemedia.com, you can see his portfolio and you will quickly understand Matt is the man you want for the job. He will make your wedding video extra special, fun, and romantic. Visit his website, megapulsemedia.com, for a free consultation or call Matt directly at 864-640-9355. 864-640-9355.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with my wife, Kathy, and she's here to tell you about her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick. So I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress topper, and let's see if it helps or makes any kind of a difference. And I have to tell you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up, no pain. I felt incredible. It made a huge difference for me. And the pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. And this is an incredible deal because with the promo code KANE, you will save 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper and get 2 free MyPillows. But you've got to use the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, KANE, at MyPillow.com.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Okay, now this is strange story. You may have heard about this. Merrill Lynch advisor has been fired after racist tirade against smoothie shop employee. Let me read this story. I want to play the audio. We'll talk about it because this is crazy. A Merrill Lynch financial advisor from Connecticut was arrested for allegedly throwing a smoothie at a teenage employee, calling her an effing immigrant. The footage of this, of his racist rant, they write here, has gone viral. He was arrested and charged with a hate crime following a chaotic scene at Robex in Fairfield on Saturday, according to the Fairfield Police Department. The encounter erupted when he returned to the store after earlier ordering a smoothie that contained peanuts, so he says, which caused his highly allergic son to have a reaction and require hospitalization.
That's not good. That could kill you.
Yeah,
very dangerous.
And let me tell you,
that's a very dangerous allergy.
I have some pretty bad food allergies myself. I don't have them at that level where I would need to get hospitalized, but I have my food allergies are kind of ridiculous. I have a severe allergy to several things, but the worst are bananas. And this has happened to me when we've gotten smoothies and they've had bananas in them. I don't eat smoothies anymore because I tell them no bananas, but you never know. And what happens is my throat closes up. Yeah. I can't breathe. I have a very difficult time breathing. It's pretty severe. And I get a pain inside my stomach and my chest that is not even describable. It doesn't rise to the level of being hospitalized.
No, but that's a pretty severe
I
reaction.
have a very severe reaction to bananas. And the funny thing is, I love bananas. I love bananas and I can't eat them.
I don't like them. Our daughter's highly allergic to lemons. And that it doesn't cause her to go to the hospital. She doesn't have a breathing issue. But when she has lemons, she gets pain all over her body for days and just feels very bad.
Well,
and it really took a long time for us to figure that out. She was diagnosed when she was like 9, and we kind of forgot about it. And then she was feeling bad for a long time. And I said, you know what? I said, I forgot you're allergic to lemons. And she said, yeah. And I said, stop eating lemons, because she would have lemons all the time. I said, stop eating lemons completely. And let me tell you, within 3 days, she felt like a new person.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel so much better, Mom.
Yeah, food allergies are terrible.
Yeah,
and peanut allergies, which is involved in
Very
this
dangerous.
Smoothie incident. I've heard of people dying from peanut allergies.
Absolutely.
Are very severe. There was an episode of CSI, one of the early episodes of CSI with William Peterson, not this new woke thing.
Yeah.
They've got this new woke CSI Las Vegas. William Peterson's back. He is a supporting actor on his own show. The lead person that has his old job on the show, of course, African American woman that he answers to, and he's like some old grandpa.
Yeah, because he's a white guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, white guys can't be in charge anymore.
That's right, William Peterson. You've had your day. Even though you're a famous movie star for Manhunter and To Live and Die in LA. But anyway, there was an episode on the early days of CSI about a jury. They were in deliberations and they were getting nasty and they wouldn't end and people wanted to go home. And one of the other jury members gave the one holdout peanuts, knowing they had a peanut allergy in their lunch, and they killed them.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was in CSI.
That's a good story.
But in this instance, in this real life story with this Merrill Lynch guy, his son, they went there. He ordered a smoothie. He told them, he says, no peanuts, and his son, it had peanuts in it, and his son ended up in the hospital.
Peanuts in a smoothie? Maybe peanut butter. You don't put peanuts in a smoothie.
Well, they put, I don't know,
peanut butter maybe. So maybe
I don't know.
Maybe when he said. Now, this could have happened. He might have said no peanut butter, and she might have thought he meant to put it in. Maybe she didn't hear the no part.
Well, what they said is that he said no peanuts, but he didn't say anything about an allergy. So anyway, his son was hospitalized.
Yeah.
Which is pretty scary for a parent. Our daughter was hospitalized for some health issues when she was young. It is frightening as a parent.
It is.
When you're trying, we took our daughter to the emergency room. She was had some issues when she was like 5 or 6, and the doctor said we're going to admit her. And I was there by myself with her, Kathy. We didn't think it was that big of a deal, and I almost collapsed. I mean, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
So this guy, his son was hospitalized due to this peanut allergy. He knew he got the peanuts at the smoothie shop. He went back and he was ticked off, and he started yelling at them. And what did the teenagers do? They filmed it all on their phone. They put it on TikTok.
Yep.
And millions of people saw it. Now he's lost his Merrill Lynch job. He's been arrested and charged with a hate crime.
Do we have the audio?
I'm going to play the audio right now because in the audio he called one of them an effing immigrant, and I don't know if that's a hate crime. And he threw a smoothie.
Well, the throwing is the thing he did
Yeah,
wrong.
but that's not a hate crime.
No, of course not. But because he threw it at her and he said that's how they're going to categorize it.
I don't even think he hit her with it. I watched the video. It hit the counter behind them.
Well, this is all woke, and when something goes viral like that, the police department feels pressure. They have to do something now.
They've overcharged him.
You might as well assume when you're out in public, somebody's going to film you. I don't know what the guy was thinking. I mean, he's probably
Especially
an
young
old-timer,
people.
and he doesn't understand that that's how the world is. He probably had no clue he was being filmed. But I see videos all the time of – I don't like people filming people and putting it online. I think it's a form of bullying, and it's to me a form. It's very aggressive and a violation, but it happens all the time. So let's hear. I want to hear. What this guy
I want to play
said.
for you. So this is the video made by one of the teenagers at the smoothie shop.
They couldn't wait to get it up.
And then you hear him in the background.
Please don't yell at us. Yeah.
Don't videotape me.
You have no room to yell at us.
I want to speak to the person who made this drink. Is that you?
No,
we don't know who made it. So
You don't know who made it?
there's 4 of us here, so we honestly don't know.
You're in high school kid.
Okay, bye.
I want to speak to
Bye. Okay, you can call corporate whenever you want. Goodbye.
Jam stop.
Wow.
I don't care.
Give it to me right now.
What? Oh, yeah.
He just threw it.
I'm calling the police.
Ow.
Telephone.
Careless.
Telephone. Shut up.
Get out. You can call corporate. Bye. Good for you. Bye.
I want the
Bye. Bye.
Shut up.
You shut up. You're not going to tell me to shut up. Who are you? Who are you?
The customer.
Oh my gosh.
Get the out. Get the out. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh my
Now
Lord.
listen. He didn't throw a rock. He threw ice cream.
No, he shouldn't be
He
arrested.
threw like ice cream.
But
right, a smoothie, Kathy.
These girls, I am in shock how disrespectful. Maybe I'm not in shock, but this is how young people are these days. They're very uneducated, a lot of them, and they're extremely disrespectful to customers. The way those girls acted, that happens all the time now. Now, I used to work in retail. Let me tell you, if I ever talked like that to a customer, I would have been fired on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't think that the customer is not right anymore. I don't agree with him coming in aggressive, and I think he handled it wrong. And you don't go in and yell at a bunch of teenage girls when you're a grown man. It's strange. But I know he was upset, but that is not the way you handle that situation. You don't want to handle anything when you're so upset. And I don't know what he was thinking he could accomplish.
Yeah, but, Kathy,
you talk to the manager. You don't talk to the 15-year-old that made the smoothie.
I agree with you.
I mean, he handled
about
it
his
wrong.
reaction.
Yeah,
but he's been arrested, charged.
No, that's
with
ridiculous.
He's been charged with a hate crime.
Ridiculous.
And he's lost his job at Merrill Lynch.
That's insane.
Because of some teenage girls.
Because it went viral. That's why if it had never gone viral, he wouldn't lose his job, but it went viral.
Yeah.
It's been seen by millions. So now they have to do something. Yeah. That's the way it works. But
can you imagine?
Don't go. Let me tell you, these young people record everything. And not only do they record everything, they put everything on TikTok. And it's going to go viral. And 1 2-minute moment of your life can destroy your life. Mm-hmm. So don't go into public places ranting and raving at teenagers or college kids because you will live to regret it.
That's
Let me tell you.
And that's what they live for.
Oh yeah, they love it. They're getting millions of views, and that's all they care about in this younger generation. Clicks, views, likes. They don't care if they destroy your life. Now, I don't agree with how he handled it, and I sure as hell don't agree with these girls. But there will be no repercussions for them. Do you think that store owner is going to fire those girls?
And so what? They'll just
be too afraid
They'll just go to the smoothie shop down the street.
I mean, I would not go to a place like that talk to customers that way.
Well, you know what, Kathy? The girl that put this on TikTok, she made more money on the TikTok revenue than she makes in a year at the smoothie shop because millions of people have watched it.
Crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. God. His wife must. I wonder what she's thinking.
Well, it is a scary world. You have to assume you are always being recorded now.
Because what happens is everybody has a smartphone. And things happen. And when somebody comes in and starts screaming, somebody's going to pull out their phone and record it. I mean, you might as well just assume that unless you're totally alone with somebody and you can see what they're doing. But I've seen people... like we saw a video of a woman at Disney the other day who was yelling at a cast member for moving her stroller, and she had a complete conniption. And she had her phone out. She was yelling at him, and she had her phone out recording him. And then somebody else was recording her yelling at him and put it online. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just assume that you're in a public place that somebody, if you create a scene, somebody's going to record it and probably upload it to the internet.
Yeah, and destroy your life like this guy.
This guy probably makes a lot of money.
Not anymore.
Lives in a big house.
Not anymore.
And his wife is probably so pissed at him right now for creating this scene and destroying their life.
That's right. Now, listen, I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support. And I also want to welcome our new Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you on every episode. The names you are about to hear are the names of our top Patreon supporters, and we want to thank them all. Starting with Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Chuck, Dee, Pamela, Jacqueline, Rick, Rich, and Nick. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like to support the program by becoming a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. There's also a direct link to our Patreon page on my website, briancraigshow.com. And the direct website address, if you want to type it in, is patreon.com/realbriancraigshow. Patreon.com/realbriancraigshow. Hey guys, thanks for listening. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll talk to you next time.
Are you preparing for a career in performance nutrition? Then the book from author Dr. James C. Moorhen, The Performance Nutritionist, available on Amazon, is your next must-read book. In any industry, there are those who progress quicker than others. It's no different in the industry of performance nutrition. Those in performance nutrition appear to effortlessly gain experience, credibility, and respect from other practitioners and athletes. They seem to stand out. But why is that? The Performance Nutritionist lifts the lid on 10 well well-respected performance nutritionists, practitioners, and researchers, all of whom are successful in their careers. With hundreds of publications, gold medals, winning performances, and podcast episodes between them, the 10 individuals in the Performance Nutritionist provide genuine golden nuggets of vast and valuable information you can use. When you read the Performance Nutritionist, all of your questions will be answered. Their career navigation in academia, research, and applied practice, standout moments which have defined them, key characteristics required in the industry, the importance of mentors, influential factors which have led to their successful careers, and the question, what makes a successful performance nutritionist? You will find all that and more in the Performance Nutritionist from author Dr. James C. Moorhan. Order your copy right now on Amazon, available in Kindle and paperback.